Has your brain ever convinced you something was definitely wrong at 3 a.m.? Like, not a little worried, absolutely certain that something terrible was happening or about to happen, and then you woke up at 8 a.m. and thought, oh, that was nothing. That shift from total catastrophe to total calm didn't happen because the situation changed. It happened because your brain ran a program at night without your permission. That program has a name. It's called the anxiety feedback loop. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at your worried brain the same way again. First thing, anxiety is not a malfunction. It is a feature, a very old feature, designed for a very different world. Think of your brain as a house with a smoke detector. The smoke detector is brilliant. It goes off when there's smoke. It saves lives. The problem is your brain's smoke detector can't tell the difference between an actual fire and burnt toast. And in the modern world, there is a lot of burnt toast, an unanswered text, a weird look from your boss, a news headline, a slightly fast heartbeat. All of these can trigger the same alarm that your ancestors used to escape actual predators. The part of your brain responsible for this is called the amygdala. It's small, it's fast, and it does not wait for facts. The amygdala sees something that looks even vaguely like danger, and it fires immediately, before your thinking brain can even get involved. And that firing is what we call anxiety, not a flaw, just a very loyal, very dramatic, very outdated alarm system. So here's where it gets interesting. Anxiety isn't just an alarm, it's a loop. And loops do something alarms don't. Loops feed themselves. Let's walk through it. Step 1, the trigger. Something happens. Doesn't matter what. Could be huge, a job interview tomorrow. Could be tiny. You read a weird message and they haven't replied. Your amygdala notices, it fires. The alarm goes off. Step 2, the physical sensation. Your heart rate picks up. Your breathing gets shallower. Maybe your stomach tightens. This is your body preparing for a threat. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Step 3, the thought. Your brain feels those physical sensations, and it draws a conclusion. Something is wrong. I feel it in my body. Therefore, something is definitely wrong. Step 4, the sensation gets stronger. Because now you're not just anxious about the original thing, you're anxious about being anxious. Your heart beats faster. You notice it, which makes it beat faster. Step 5, the loop closes. The physical sensation confirms the thought. The thought amplifies the sensation, around and around. This is the anxiety feedback loop. And here's the part nobody tells you, the thing that makes it so sticky. Avoidance. When you're anxious, avoiding the thing that scares you feels like relief. And it is relief, immediately. But avoidance sends a message to your brain. We avoided that because it was dangerous. And next time the alarm fires even faster, even louder. Avoidance doesn't break the loop, it tightens it. And then there's the overthinking spiral. You start with one thought. What if I mess up the presentation? And your brain, helpfully, offers several follow-up thoughts. What if I mess up the presentation, lose the client, lose my job, lose the apartment, end up... You see where this goes. One anxious thought becomes a story. The story becomes a disaster movie. You wrote, directed, and starred in it. And none of it has happened yet. Now here's the part where it gets genuinely wild. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. Let that sink in. If you vividly imagine something scary happening, your heart rate goes up. your cortisol spikes, your muscles tense. The same cascade of physical responses you'd have if it were actually happening. This is because your brain processes imagined scenarios using many of the same neural circuits as real ones. There's even research showing that imagining running activates similar motor cortex areas to actually running. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between "this is happening" and "I am thinking about this very intensely," which is great for creativity and terrible for anxiety. Because every time your anxious brain runs a disaster scenario, your body responds to the disaster scenario. Then your body's response, the tight chest, the racing heart, gets fed back to the brain as more evidence that something is wrong. This is called interoception, the brain reading its own body's signals, and in anxious states, it misreads them. A slightly fast heartbeat becomes, "I might be having a heart attack." A muscle twitch becomes, "Something is seriously wrong." The cortisol, the stress hormone your body releases when anxious, doesn't help either. Cortisol keeps you in a state of heightened alertness, which means you keep noticing things, which means more triggers, which means more cortisol. Loop, loop, loop. And here's a weird one. Reassurance seeking can actually make it worse. When you're anxious and you get reassurance, "Everything's fine, don't worry," you feel better immediately. But your brain logs, "We sought safety because there was danger," and it becomes slightly more vigilant next time. The relief teaches the brain to be afraid. Okay, so the loop is real. The science backs it up. What do you actually do? 4 things, all science-backed. None of them are just relax. Tool 1, name it. Research from UCLA showed that when you label an emotion, literally say, "I feel anxious," activity in the amygdala decreases. Naming the feeling reduces its power, not because the feeling goes away, but because your thinking brain gets involved. The moment you say, "This is anxiety," you've stepped slightly outside the loop. Tool 2, the physiological sigh. Double inhale through the nose, 2 sniffs, then 1 long exhale through the mouth. This specific breathing pattern deflates the air sacs in your lungs and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's calm down system. It's the fastest physiological way to reduce acute stress. Discovered at Stanford, takes about 30 seconds. Tool 3, run toward the thing, not away from it. Every time you avoid the thing anxiety tells you to avoid, the loop tightens. Every time you approach it, even just a little, the loop gets one chance to learn. We went there. Nothing happened. We survived. This is exposure. It's the most evidence-backed anxiety treatment we have. And the principle is simple. Each small step toward the thing teaches your brain that the threat was not real. Tool 4, the reality check. 1 question, ask it when the spiral starts. Is something actually wrong right now, in this moment? Not tomorrow, not in the imagined disaster, right now, this second. Usually the answer is no, and no is a loop interrupt. One last thing. The goal isn't zero anxiety. The smoke detector isn't your enemy. You need it. You just want it better calibrated. The goal is a smaller, quieter loop, not no loop at all. Remember that stickman at 3 a.m.? Still awake, still spiraling, still absolutely convinced that something terrible is coming. Here's what's different now. They can name it. This is anxiety. This is the loop. They can take 1 breath. Double inhale, long exhale. They can ask, "Is something actually wrong right now?" And slowly, not immediately, not perfectly, the spiral gets quieter. Not because the anxious brain stopped being anxious, but because it got a little bit of understanding, and understanding is just enough to slow the loop down. Your anxious brain isn't broken, it isn't weak, it isn't wrong, it's loyal. It's trying to protect you. It's just not always sure what you actually need protecting from. Be patient with it. And the next time it goes off at 3 a.m., maybe just remind it, I know, I see you, we're going to be okay.